Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaRakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great Musa and rule well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of sincerity and truth. Um, yeah, just found this article, and it's kind of funny how I found it somewhat amusing, because it's basically talking about the federal mandate that they put out, saying I think it's all federal employees need to get their shots, and how the U.S. is doing the most, I think, out of any country so far, to get people to take it up. Because over here in the UK, it's only been care home workers that have to get it, and then it will be what do you call it? From September, I believe it is. Then you'll need vaccine passports to go into clubs, crowd. Like I don't know what it covers. Maybe it will cover pubs and restaurants too, but I'm not 100% sure. And then what was it? Like Europe, some bits of Europe as well. Well, France is pushing that passport as well, but I think some of it came in July. I think some more of it comes in August in France, which is why people are kicking up a proper fuss right now. So I'll just kind of skip through this because I'll read the first. So it says, in recent weeks, calls for vaccine mandates have increasingly been heard in the column headlines, stop pleading with anti-vaxxers and start mandating vaccinations. The Washington Post Max Boot implored President Biden to stop making reasonable appeals to those who will not listen to reason. Former Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius lamented that we're going to tiptoe around mandates, and she's kind of over that. A coalition of medical professional organizations, including the American Medical Association, has asked for all healthcare and long-term care employers to require employees to be vaccinated against C-19. Yeah, so they're trying to make it just like, essentially just make the companies push it, which a lot of them in the States already have. And I think there was an airline that did it, and there was a hotel chain, maybe more than one hotel chain that did it as well, or they basically made it a requirement. And there's a few others too. So okay, we skip down to this. But if this rhetoric and these efforts lead to a de facto national vaccine mandate, it will backfire. Americans from all walks of life resist being told what to put into their bodies, and many will resent any politician or institution that makes them get vaccinated. And yeah, that's it's kind of funny, yeah, because that's that American willfulness that they really have, and that's more than like over here. Because over here, even though there's people protesting like the lockdowns, but hey, people have been hella jumping on what do you call it? Jumping on the max, like they've been uh, taking it in droves, man. It's like there's a place now where I work where they hand out the shots, and it's like it's been non-stop, all form of people going down there, man, every day asking like, oh, where's the place, lots of Elam as well. um but yeah, America's different because them guys, they still got their guns, man. So it's creating a crisis of legitimacy for any government, university, or business that forces constituents, students, and employees to get vaccinated. Indeed, the president of the Federal Law Officers Association has already said there will be a lot of pushback from members of his organization against the federal employee mandate. Okay. But yeah, so I'll skip down. So it says what? I got a breakthrough C infection. The worst part is a conflicting advice. As Maya Goldenberg, author of Vaccine Hesitancy, Public Trust, Expertise, and War on Science, argues in a recent blog post, many of the vaccine hesitant are well educated, work in the healthcare industry, and have questions about how effective the vaccines are at stopping transmission. So imagine that. It's like most of the people, like a lot of them work within these fields, so they would have seen like for like they would have seen the impact of these things from the jump. So then, for them to be hesitant, that means they the way they're looking at it is it's gonna be more justified than when they say like, oh, you're just a random, you don't care about blah blah blah. Now these guys have been working on the front line. Uh, how come they've decided what you call it? How come they've decided against it? But why it says whether they're safe to take during pregnancy or if they impact fertility. Which yeah, that's something that um, like man just tried to brush that under the rug. Like, oh, do you really care about it? I'm like, bro, you like, it's as simple as like, are you really that worried? Like, are you really thinking about what you're putting within you? Because it's more a matter of compliance. Like a lot of people will just comply with whatever, just to keep maneuvering, and that's really that's the key thing. So on Thursday, the Post reported on an internal document at the CDC that cited concerns about the effectiveness of vaccines in preventing the contraction of the Delta variant. On Friday, the Post reported on an analysis of CDC data from Massachusetts, finding that 3/4 of people who became infected were fully vaccinated. So that's also hilarious because that the first question you ask after that is like, okay, well, you're just gonna be like, okay, what's going on there then? But that's the thing is because I was talking to my aunt, and she was saying the same thing. Most of the people that caught it again, they'd already taken it. So yeah, it's I ain't even gonna say too much because I know how they get around this topic. But I think there was one more. Okay, yeah. So it says the debate is also about how much faith individual Americans have in the information they're given. When Pfizer's CEO announces that its max is 96% effective up to 2 months after a second dose, but only 84% effective 4 to 6 months after the second dose, on the heels of suggesting a third booster shot may be needed, that raises alarm bells among skeptics. When the CDC goes back and forth on its mask-wearing guidance, loosening recommendations in May and tightening them now, invites the charge that public health officials are winging it, rather than making evidence-based calculations. Yeah, so it's perfectly reasonable to to be looking at like what's going on here. But it's getting pushed heavy, man. And will continue to intensify as far as it's what you can see. It's like the military's next. So Romans 12:1, it says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. It says what? And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Yeah, so be not conformed to this world. And that's a lot of what is being relied on as far as for these these mandates are getting pushed out. People are conform, by and large. Jake has conformed to this world, man. And Jake are moving like Babylonians. They're moving like Greeks. They're moving like Roman citizens. You know, they're moving. They're moving as part of these systems, these structures. So that's why they'll get down with whatever they're pushing out. And that's it, man. It says what but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Yeah, that's for the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, Hashem HaKadosh. That's what we're meant to be doing. We're meant to be basically maneuvering as members of the hopeful elect, sticking to the scriptures, sticking to the words, and sticking to what we're taught. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, Hashem HaKadosh, Shalom.